You know, Spark, I wasn't going to pull the trigger, but at the end of the day, you're 17, and I think you're old enough to know what's right and what's wrong. Let's begin. Karaji pays for a Helix. Over time, right? Makes sense? Karaji pays 5K. Payment plan almost done. I get to have this kid early. HASHCROW's like, yeah, man, bro, you can just have this early. Cool beans, bro. So he gets me hyped, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'll pay you the last 400 on Friday. We agreed to that. Every Friday I paid him. Upon him scratching the code, turns out when he did it, it actually kind of ruined it. Some kind of manufacturing error. I don't know all the logistics. But, of course, HASHCROW wants to make it right because I'm Karaji and, he's a good guy. He offers to trade one of his full VERs for a double Helix that Sprkler happens to be listing right here. Of course, when they do this trade, HASHCROW is going to record. Of course, it makes sense. HASHCROW checks the codes twice. We have video evidence of that. And then upon sending the code, it poof, disappears. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Automatically, most people are going to point fingers at the person Sprkler was selling said vertex to, because that's how the operation worked. HASHCROW and Spark were supposed to swap codes, and Sprkler was supposed to give it to this guy named Parker. HASHCROW was supposed to give this code that Sprkler allegedly had on hand, yet for some reason he could never actually flip that code. Kind of strange. Anyways, one person was bound to take a fall in this deal, and Sprkler said he would take full accountability. He says, and I quote, "Tell him it's on me to get him Helix, not you. So if I don't get it to him, it's my fault. He knows me too. Can you do that?" Okay, I guess so. A day or two passes, gives me some bullshit responses, always dances around the truth. Come on. I'm Karaji. Listen, man, I'm 22. I've been around the block. I know when a guy is stalling. He eventually says, after I press him continuously, "I'm trying to help the both of you, but respectfully, at the end of the day, if I can't, it comes down to you and Hash for your code. You shouldn't have even been affected by this. Any further issues should remain between me, Hash, and Parker." Now, he likes to mention this Parker guy a lot. He's been around since 2024. So, wow, okay, since 200 members to be exact. We have that here as well. So, I looked into this guy, this Parker guy, and upon looking at his messages, throughout the entirety of 2024 and 2025, he hasn't said a single word. Yet, for some reason, he has roles. So at this point, I'm starting to piece it together that this guy's a scammer. Even one of my acquaintances or friends, I guess we could call it now, Cutser, he said, yeah, Spark is a scammer. So I pressed him about that, of course. More stalling, more dragging. And then I just kind of wait, because I know he's going to make a mistake eventually. A little under 4 days, I did not have Helix after paying my 5K, and the only reason why HASHCROW didn't just go out and buy me one is because he was a little scared to come to the realization that Spark's probably a scammer. But in the meantime, HASHCROW also did some digging. He wanted to know what happened to that code, because at this point he's starting to figure out that Parker isn't a real guy as well. Obviously, I'm telling him all this stuff too. We're working together on this case. And we find this interesting piece of information. He entered the exact code that he gave Sprkler so he could source the email. And right here it says clear as day, this product was redeemed by SP blank 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 r at yahoo.com. Let's do some digging. So HASHCROW had the bright idea. SP last letter R. What if we tried well, what do we have to lose? And sure enough, it's a real email. So at this point, one of my contacts messages me asking if I have Helix yet, because it had been almost 5 days without a code that I paid for. We pieced it together, and we broke everything down. There were quite a few of us. I won't go into details, but they are very, very get it done type people. And we compiled all of our evidence to prove that he is a scammer. So, what comes next, you may be wondering? The next day, HASHCROW understands this information and he gets me a code within maybe an hour, honestly. Isn't that so interesting? If you have the money for a code and you know somebody who has it, don't you think you'd get it in almost an instant? I mean, surely Sprkler would have, because he's a lot bigger than HASHCROW. He's also pretty terrible to his friends. I could go into detail about that. His server seems to love the use of the N-word. I mean, he says it more than I do, and I'm black. I don't even really say that much. He allows his Discord mods to ban anybody that he doesn't agree with. He'll make his Discord lapdogs do his dirty work for him and cover up every single scam ever. So, I guess this was his biggest one yet, trying to steal 3K off of HASHCROW here. That's not really good. And of course, he's going to try to backpedal, things of that nature, but it's taken care of. Going back to the use of the N-word, I find it a little interesting that he doesn't ban the hard R, but he has the F slur banned. Maybe he's closeted. Sprkler, are you gay? Yeah, it's okay. Come out. You know, we don't judge you. Maybe you judge yourself. Maybe you're insecure, so you feel like you need some kind of power. Power that you use to manipulate your so-called friends that probably wouldn't even be your friends if you didn't farm giveaways. I mean, from the few conversations I've had with you in call, number one, you don't even really talk that much, and number two, you're very, very boring. After everybody sees this video, I highly doubt you're going to have any friends left in your circle, because realistically, everybody kind of uses you for fame. Good luck getting out of this one. Oh, wait. One more thing. We thought... No, I don't want to say we thought. It was pretty much all me. I figured you would try to say this is a Photoshop thing, so HASHCROW and I went ahead and recorded absolutely every piece of conversation we had with you, and then we made sure to put your Discord name in there. Kind of hard to Photoshop something like that. Back to Helix. Once I redeemed that, I kind of knew that would get some traction. I'm going to be honest. So much traction that Sprkler has a sit down with a certain someone who I will not name, saying, I had a code almost ready, but I could have swore it was HASHCROW's responsibility. He was so close, but every time I asked Sprkler about it, he seems to kind of dodge. Little strange. But now that he knows that I know what he knows, that sounds very complicated, but it's true. He gave me trusted. You know, when I was recording this morning, I wasn't trusted, and we also have proof of that. It's almost like he wants me to shut up. There's also more evidence. It seems like Mr. Main over here and Sprkler are reposting my double helix. There's a good chance it's because he's a scammer. I heard rumors before. I didn't know for sure. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. I even tried to be his friend, but constantly he always ignored me, replying with emojis or straight up just completely ignoring me. He'll associate himself with borderline white supremacists, but he won't give me the time of day. Maybe he could be racist too. That's really not off the table. If I'm going to be honest, that entire server is no good. If you're friends with Sprkler, you are guilty by association. And to everybody watching this in his server, you have 24 hours to out him of everything, or I'm exposing your chats too. I have everything recorded. I promise to God.